Thanks for joining me in Harlem now. McComb's Place, 154th, West 154th Street. I am basically streaming on my YouTube as well at the same time. Love this walk too, eh? So I'm walking around with two phones in my hand. I'm gonna see if there's a reflection anywhere. I'll do the other stream for a short bit of time. Busy hands, yep. Hey Moon, how are you? Thanks for joining. I have busy hands, yep. I just wanted to see what kind of happens. I'm also doing this as an experiment because I use the one phone as the Wi-Fi hotspot, and the other phone, yeah, can do its work. So I'll see how far it goes and how it does, because I just have one viewer on YouTube and like 11 viewers on TikTok for some reason. I'm always trying to figure out why they kind of throttle your viewers. What reason they'll do that. I think when TikTok kind of does certain videos, they want you to be in certain places. So when I'm like in Manhattan, certain parts of Manhattan, then my numbers are extremely high. Compared to where the South Africans gathering today, I'm not too sure. We're not as connected as the other communities. Other communities has been here way longer than what we have. So I don't know where they're going to be today. Thank you to the 5 people that joined my lives. Really appreciate you guys. We're in Harlem right now. I walked over from the Bronx. If you didn't catch that. So we're walking down to 125th in Harlem. Kendra asked me what animals did I see when I was hiking in the mountains in South Africa. So when I was in the Western Cape, I saw the biggest animal was the baboon. Then you would have the Rox hyrax, which we call the dassie. And the dassie rock hyrax, according to some people, is the closest relative to an elephant. I was like, wow, because it's a very small animal. It looks more like a rabbit without ears. I did see snakes, and that was like different snakes. It's like the brown snake, the mole snake, the puff adder. I didn't see any Cape cobras on the mountains. I see them in other places, in like other nature reserves and that. And many times I wasn't hiking. Once I did hike, I saw one of them, but that wasn't on the mountain. So yeah, the other animals that I encountered, I was actually telling somebody yesterday. So I told somebody that I used to surf in South Africa. And when I surfed, I've had encounters. So I've had encounters with sharks. You do have that. So sometimes it's we call it basking, or you'll say basking shark, which is a harmless shark. I can't get to that. The ragged tooth shark you will get, so here and there, which is like not really a threat. The ones that you do have a problem with is like the great whites, which you do have an encounter, but the places where I would go and surf, except in one morning when I had one of my experience was with it was a great white. But when you see them, most of the time they also come to the beach. They also like gliding through the waves, them and dolphins as well. But it becomes a bit risky at certain times of the day because they hunt mostly morning and close to sunset times. So, yeah, that's the experiences that I've had with different animals. Oh, and the best experience was sitting in the water, and it was myself and maybe three, four other surfers, and this is before cell phones with video. I mean, we wouldn't have been able to take it in the water with us. And we were sitting there, and this whale breaches. You just see the head comes up, it spouts its water, and then it just goes down under the water and it disappears. That was the southern right whale, which we get a lot of in August. So that's something that I miss. Spurs in 7. Yo, yo, we Spurs fans are tenacious. Thank you, Tyler, for the weather. They like sunbathing the whales. Yep. Bull sharks in Florida. So thank you so much, Izzy. So bull sharks we don't call them bull sharks. We call them Zambezi sharks, and they got the name from the Zambezi River. So the bull shark can swim up rivers, and they can go quite far up rivers. So there was, I think the movie Jaws is kind of based on stories of people that were attacked by sharks. This was like the early 1900s, around, I want to say mainly New Jersey area. And they were saying like this one shark was like kind of swimming up rivers and attacking people. And the people, historians and scientists were saying they suspected it was a bull shark because that's the only shark that can do that. You find them in quite a few places, the bull sharks. I think they also like swim up the Amazon River. But the Zambezi sharks, when people like started, especially the colonialists, thank you, especially colonialists, when they started documenting history and things like that, they they were saying that these sharks were swimming up rivers and attacking like cows, cattle that were coming to drink water at the rivers. And that river was called the Zambezi River. So hence the shark getting the name Zambezi. Hey cookies, the weather is hot, 28 degrees Celsius. Oh, that's an ambulance, one of our many ambulances. I'm heading up to like 125th. I got time, so I don't know where I'm gonna go to. I might just end up in Central Park. I might end up in Central Park. Hey to you, is that Dallas? Hey, how are you? Sorry I didn't get your comment. I'm a bit delayed with the comments on two, so I'm working with two phones here. So I'm streaming at the same time. Phew, let's cross over. Is it humid? It's extremely humid today. Today the humidity is like really high. Earlier on I had to drink a lot of water. And it looks like I'm going to have to stop somewhere and drink some more water. So, Ellen, how are you? Thanks for joining. Um, what mustn't I show, Anki? Thanks for the daily opening. Yo. Oh, I mustn't show the other phone moves. Let's cross over here. Somewhere along the line, I'm like on 145th, West 145th. Back in the day, first time I came down to New York City, I came down here. I lived on 145th, off 145th. Actually on 143rd is where I lived. And that was like 2011, but that I came there for like 3 months, and then the next year it was like 5 months, I believe. So when people like think about different parts of New York City, they hear the Bronx, they hear Harlem, they think the worst because of what TV gives them, social media gives them. And no, it's not like what you think it is. Yeah, this fish market over here. Let's come and try this place out. So this is the Drew Hamilton houses. Okay. So once again, the numbers hit like 140 odd, and then it drops instantly. So if you're experiencing anything where glitching and it kicks you out, you have to come back again. You have to like go out and come back again, because it's kind of frustrating. People are, let's go see for myself. I think you're living in the past, or you've never been to New York City in recent days, or you've never been to New York City, unfortunately. There's a lot of people that comes into the lives that will say really strange things about New York City. And many times there are people that's never been to even the US. And they will be speaking out the trash about New York City. Okay, it's much better now. You have too much TV watching. There's too much TV watching. And, like they believe a 7-second clip of something that is going extreme. It's like, yo, you need to kind of realize there's something called reality. And we're not talking about reality TV, because that is also scripted. Yesterday, my daughter, who's eventually going to major into media studies, we were speaking about this yesterday, about the reality shows and how scripted it is, and how the people that are on these reality shows, many times if you check their backgrounds, they are university educated people. At like some really good universities, that's where they come from. Hey Amos, how are you? Thanks for joining. Yo Buck, we're on like 141st West. We passed your street that you named after. Buck people, yo, Buck, the Knicks game was live. I actually didn't want to watch the game because I was like, I'm gonna jinx it if I watch the game. So I like kind of like watched the highlights and things like that, and I kept on checking the scores. I was like, yo, every time I checked the scores, I was like, I said the first few, like, I was like saying, yo, the Knicks is gonna lose tonight. I was like so walking around moping already and stuff like that. And then I saw the score going up. I was like, yo, and then started getting like the end was just like wild. Yeah, Buck is another live streamer out in New York City. Let's see. Okay. I'm like looking as far up as possible. Shoot, I am so hot. NBHD is a business that I support. On 40th and Frederick Douglass coffee shop. You can catch lunch there as well. Good store, a good coffee shop, restaurant. Yes, I'm in Harlem. I'm in Harlem. I walked over from the Bronx today. I don't have the water to be able to walk back over into the Bronx. Plus, I have to go and buy some. I have to go and buy some. Let's go and do a brownstone. I'll show you the brownstones. Let's walk up ahead. Yep, I have to go to Trader Joe's. These brownstones are like now millions of dollars. The rent is ridiculously high. I actually met somebody that's working for yeah, kitty. Um, I was speaking to somebody that works at Trader Joe's, and she was saying that she lives in one of these brownstones. So her husband was born and raised in one of the brownstones, and they never moved out. And they got rent stabilized apartments. Like the family lives in one building. It's almost as if, yeah, the whole family's been there for since the beginning. And she said they're paying next to nothing. Because I like asked her, you paying like $1,000 for rent? She's like, no, we're paying less than that a month. And I was like, wow. So she was saying, thank goodness for rent stabilization, because without that, you wouldn't be able to afford rental in the area. Yes, I am going to watch the game today. That's why I have to, like, I'm doing my live now. And that's why I didn't go too far out in the city. I have to do shopping. And then I have to get back home, fetch my daughter from school, and then I'll be able to watch the game. Hey Portia, how are you? I'm glad I did, Anki. I'm glad I did open your eyes to many things. Because far too long you have all of these TV shows with people that script writers that's never even been to New York City, and they write about New York City. Is this your neighborhood, Cheryl? Anki, yes, people do that. So I have a friend whose mom, she was a professor when she started out. So she was a school teacher, and they have a place out in Chelsea. So that friend of mine is the one that grew up with Vin Diesel. And Vin Diesel them all grew up in this building, but this building was like, the neighborhood was like really in what was considered a bad neighborhood. Chelsea was like a really bad place. Now these super rich people live in there. Um, and his mom had him added to the lease now. So that's what you do. You just add your child to the lease, and then it gets passed down like that. So he will continue to pay that rental that his mother paid. His mother's paying something like, I think like $300 a month or something like that. And the apartment is huge. Thank you so much, Izzy. So his apartment, the apartment is huge. So he's having issues with his rental in Brooklyn. He lives in Brooklyn now. And I was like telling him, dude, you're gonna have to move in with your mom, because you are going to save so much money on rental. Oh wow. This is the first time I'm seeing this. There's a academic. I think he was a professor as well. Dr. John Henry Clark. Um, the street is named after him, John Henry Clark. And he is an academic, African studies. So, and he used to live, I think, not on 137th. He might have lived on 137th, but I always pass a building that's named also after him, and I'm pretty sure that building either he lived in, which is further up on Sugar Hill. I'm sure that's on like 141st. Okay. So, to my YouTube people, I'm gonna have to say goodbye. Let me just stop this in the one place.